Hi, my name is Katie Fassett. Welcome to my channel, Beauty After Baby, where we talk all things motherhood, mom hacks, curly hair. I talk about my experience in an MLM, all the things. But my name's Katie, and I am a mom of four boys. I am pregnant currently with my fifth baby. It's a surprise. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy, so that's kind of the most exciting thing going on in my life. But this video from the description is about my feelings towards finding out that we were going to have a January baby and how I was pretty disappointed. I thought in my head when we got pregnant the next time it would be a spring summer baby. So we were kind of holding out for, fall so that we would have a spring summer baby, but we got pregnant in the spring, landing us with a January 6th baby. And my initial thoughts were just sheer disappointment. But over time, my perspective has totally changed. And instead of thinking January is the worst month to have a baby, it's quickly changed to, or not so quickly, but slowly changed to, I actually think January will be the best month to have a baby. And I'm going to tell you why. So, if you're pregnant and if you maybe have a little bit of due date disappointment, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, get cozy, or grab a basket of laundry. I'm sure you're like me and you have thousands of piles of laundry to fold. And let's chat my perspective shift on this January baby. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with my initial thoughts and feelings when I took that pregnancy test at the beginning of May. I immediately knew this is going to be a winter baby because I've already had two February babies, I've had one November baby, and I've had one October baby. And in my mind, I just have always wanted this spring baby because I just feel like spring is so much more joyful and it's sunny and the days are getting longer, and the summertime it's sunny and it's beautiful and it's green outside and you can get fresh air, all the things. And so when I saw I like typed it into the, whatever due date calculator thing. And when it said January 6th, my jaw dropped. I was like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Like, that's horrible. It's right after Christmas. I already have two February babies at the beginning of February, February 4th and February 6th. And I just was picturing being massively pregnant at Christmas time. And just the disappointment of, ah, like I didn't want to get pregnant now. I wanted to be pregnant in the fall so that I could have a spring baby. And like I said, we have so many birthdays at the end of the year, October, November. Then December is when our wedding anniversary is. And then it's Christmas and, Thanksgiving's wrapped up in there, Halloween's wrapped up in there. And then New Year comes around and we're going to have a baby. And then we have two February birthdays. Like, it just feels like so much in such a short amount of time. And I just wanted things to be a little more spread out, but no. Also, as someone who deals with postpartum depression and anxiety, winter months tend to be the hardest for me, just in general. And then you throw a baby in the mix with postpartum hormones, and I just already was dreading how I was going to feel on those cold, short, gloomy, sometimes January days. So those were my feelings. And then I felt super guilty because it doesn't matter. So then the mom guilt kind of set in of, wow, you should just be grateful that you're carrying a baby, and people would, you know, give anything to have a baby right now. They wouldn't care if it's coming in January or if it's coming in February or whenever it's coming. They would just be grateful. So then I just felt kind of like a little brat that I wasn't more grateful for this blessing. And it's not that I wasn't grateful for the baby. I had this image of this spring summer baby. It's what I've always wanted, and it just felt like that's taken away. So anyways, that's how I was feeling. I don't know if you can relate to that. Maybe you got a due date where you're like, oh, I didn't want a summer baby because of this. I live in the South and it's super hot, but here in Minnesota, when my February babies were born, it was dark and it was cold. And I think both of my February babies I brought home in like negative 22, 25-degree weather. And I'll never forget our firstborn, we like hit records of freezing temperatures. And it just felt lonely. And then with my November baby, it was, you know, right before the holidays. So he was born like a day before Thanksgiving. So we had Thanksgiving. And I just felt like I was so behind because I was dealing with baby newborn life. And thank goodness at the time he was just my second. So my oldest, he wasn't even 2 yet. And so they don't remember it. But then when I had my third, another February baby, it just was another like cold, dark days. I don't know. So I saw that January due date and my initial thought was, this stinks. But I will share why I have a little bit of a different perspective now, and hopefully it may spark some ideas for how you can have a different perspective to your due dates as well. Okay, so there's two sides to every coin. So I wanted to share and expand a little bit more about my postpartum experiences with each of my babies, the good and the bad, and how the order of your babies really does affect your postpartum and just your maturity and your capability. And, going from 0 to 1 baby, I don't think it matters what time of year you're going to have that baby. It's going to be a massive, giant transition. And so I think that does play a huge part into it. But like I said, I've had 2 February babies, and something about that time of year is people really do start to slow down. Like, it's coming off the holidays, and February is a pretty chill month. So I never feel like there's places that I need to go. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And then soon when spring starts to come around, April, May, and in Minnesota, I know for other places it's probably sooner than that. But when spring starts to come around, you have like a 2.5, 3-month-old baby, and they can, possibly be sleeping through the night. You feel a little more rested and you're ready to just like see the sun, get outside, go for a walk, and you just kind of can cocoon yourself in those February months, March months. And there's like I said, in Minnesota, it's so snowy, it's so cold, so there's not really much else to do anyways. And what better way to spend your time than snuggling with a little baby? So, and that way, February was a really cozy month. But for me, my first postpartum for sure, we had just moved to a new place. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I just kind of wallowed in my misery, and I didn't get outside. I wasn't as health conscious as I am now. So this time, knowing what I need, knowing to get out, knowing to talk to people, knowing to get some sun on my face, knowing to take care of myself, still exercise, all those things, that is going to help me immensely with this January baby. And then with the November baby, I know I talked about like, oh, I felt like I couldn't get ahead of the holidays and whatnot. There was also something really peaceful about knowing that, like, hey, we have a baby and it's okay. Like, and people were so understanding. And I felt like I had just this kind of peace that surpasses all understanding of, hey, like, we have a new baby and we're just here. And I just remember like snuggling with my baby on the couch while we're like families opening gifts and visiting my in-laws and being with my family. And then everyone else wanted to hold the baby. And so there was just something really cozy about having this like tiny baby that's still in this newborn stage, and they get to celebrate their first Christmas like a very teeny tiny baby. And with the February babies, what's fun about that is by the time they have their first Christmas or their first Halloween or their first Thanksgiving, like those bigger holidays, and even 4th of July, like they're kind of a bigger, chunkier baby. And then for Halloween, oh my goodness, they're like, that's the cutest age, like 9 months old. And then for the other holidays, they're just about getting to that toddling, walking around stage. And so it's just such a cute, like, bigger baby that's more substantial, and they're kind of sleeping better and all the things for Christmas time. So there are perks for every month that you have a baby. And then as far as my October baby, that was the most like summery baby that I've ever had. He was born October 5th. And I really did like the fact that I could get outside. I could go touch grass. I could just feel the sun on my face, and just having those little bit longer days, because that's before daylight savings ends. That was just so nice. And kind of the same lines as my November baby, you get to have this like pretty small baby for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And I just feel like people are more understanding when maybe your gifts aren't that great that year, or you are late or whatever, because you have a baby. And so there's just kind of this forced moment to slow down because you just can't do it all. So there are definite perks to having those October, November babies right before the holidays. And there's perks to having those babies kind of after the holidays in February, where everything's passed and you can just kind of hunker down. There's nothing that you have to rush towards. Like the next big holiday is Easter, and then, 4th of July, but it's just like nothing you have to really prep for. There's no like gifts or things like that. As far as Christmas, it's just kind of those big momentous holidays are kind of out of the way. So it's just more of the chill holidays coming up. So that is my perspective on those babies. And you know, I don't know. I think sometimes I just kind of get in my head that a February baby was so bad because I just really was struggling postpartum with that baby, with my first. And so I know that it's just going to be different this time around because I'm a different mom and this is my fifth baby and that was my first. So just wanted to give kind of some background to the other times that my babies were born. Let me know when your babies were born and if you've ever had a November, February, or October baby. Okay, now let's talk about my mindset shift with this baby, with it. Like I said, I'm kind of under exaggerating how I felt about this January baby. I cried myself to sleep multiple nights after I found out I was having a January baby. So yeah, super chill over here. But my mindset has completely changed, and now I'm actually so excited about having a January baby. And let's explain a little bit more. So I feel like in my mind, I romanticized having a spring summer baby because the sun. And I think what scares me, or what kind of excited me, was longer days, sunnier, and maybe that'll help with my postpartum depression, anxiety, all those things. But the truth is that having like a tiny baby in the summer, or having a summer baby, there's this added layer of like, I gotta get outside, especially now as a mom with, big kids. If I had a summer baby right now, I would feel so much pressure to get outside with the kids, even though I just want to like hunker down with my baby. Cause I'm definitely one of those moms where when baby's born, I want to be chilling at home. I don't want to go to extra outings. I don't want to do extra events. I don't want to be taking the kids to the children's museum. Like, we're chilling at home. And so I knew if I had a summer baby right now with an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 2-year-old boy, I would be feeling so much pressure to like go out and do things with them. So, in that sense, oh, and on top of that, think about the pressure to like wear shorts or wear things that are probably more revealing than you want to be when you're postpartum and you just want to wear baggy clothes and just chill inside. And so, I definitely think I've like over romanticized the idea of having a spring summer baby. I've never had a spring summer baby, so moms, if you have and you feel totally different about that situation, comment below, because I'm just going off of how I think I would feel. But I also know even with my February babies, summer kind of came up quick, and you have this tiny baby and you all of a sudden feel like, ugh, I gotta get out because it's summer and the days are short, or the days are long, and I gotta, soak up the sun. And then you go outside and it's 90 degrees and you're sweating and like none of your shorts fit. And you're just like, this actually isn't as like amazing as I thought. And my baby's sweating now. Now I gotta go back inside and like, this is just chaotic. So really, the prime time is fall when it's kind of cooler weather. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on that. Kind of what started to change my perspective of January was that I always think of January as this month to get ahead, to get all the stuff done, and just, start the new year off right. But actually, it's not really that time to do that. January, the days are short. the days are cooler, and people are coming off of the holidays. People are coming off of a crazy time of year. So most people, you just kind of want to slow down, and no one's really expecting you to go anywhere or be anywhere. It's just like chill time. And so I just started to think about, wow, actually, this is going to be great. And how awesome that I can, get through these big holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas without a baby. And then I can start the new year with a fresh little baby, and I'll already be in this like, the busy, chaotic, hectic seasons are just behind us. And I can just soak in these next few months. January, February, March are all pretty like not much going on around here months, and it's cold and it's dark. And how cozy will it be to have just like a little newborn to snuggle? And I know it's kind of that season where colds are going around or sicknesses are going around, and so I'm totally cool with being like, hey, I got a newborn, and I don't feel like getting any germs that people are spreading around, so we're just gonna hunker down at home. And I know that no one would be judgmental of that decision. And if I want to go out, I can go out, but there's something just kind of peaceful about knowing that, hey, I can kind of be a hermit and no one's going to judge me. And it's also just nice to have like an excuse to slow down, because often you can feel like, okay, it's the new year. Let's do all these things. We got to start a New Year's resolution. And this way, it's just having a baby. It's just forcing me to slow down. And it's going to give me a reason to just really slow down those first weeks of postpartum. This will be my first baby in a long time where I'm not a Beachbody coach or a body coach. And I always kind of felt this pressure to like get back on the workout train, lose the baby weight and fit into my clothes. Whereas this time it's like, I can be in cozy, baggy sweatshirts and baggy clothes, and no one's really going to judge because that's what everybody else is wearing. And, I just feel like it'll help me just kind of slow down, especially those first 3 months postpartum. And then come spring, I'll be getting energy back. Baby will hopefully be sleeping through the night a little bit, and the days will start getting longer. And, maybe I'll be fitting into my clothes a little bit better before spring and summer. And so that also just gives me a ton of peace, just knowing that, hey, I can keep wearing my baggy sweatshirts and my baggy sweatpants, and it just doesn't matter because it's cold winter short day. I'm also just getting excited about like the cozy newborn snuggles. And what kind of keeps me going right now is thinking about those cold mornings. Like, let's say the baby's up, it's 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. The other kids aren't up yet. And you can just have like a warm cup of coffee and just soak in those snuggles and, open up the windows and let the sun shine through when it comes through, but just like a hot cup of coffee, a little baby to snuggle and to nurse. And it'll just be cozy and just kind of like our own little newborn bubble without anyone else kind of telling us what to do. There's no summer activities, there's no sports, there's no like, it's just chilling. And I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to those January baby snuggles. My mindset has shifted so much into wishing that I had babies at different times, because there have been times where I've wished, I wish I had a summer baby. Like, just seems like it would be so much easier, so much happier, so much sunnier, yada, yada, yada. But there's no like, there's pros and cons to everything. And instead of wishing that it was different, I'm just accepting and embracing the fact that I'm going to have a January baby. And I'm trying to find ways and things to just make it fun and make it cozy and make it something that I'm genuinely looking forward to, instead of thinking of all the negatives of it. So that's just really changed this time around too. And I really feel like God knew I needed this baby at this point in time, because I can just get over ambitious. I can get a little crazy. And with how my job has been, losing my job and just trying to figure out what's next, I feel like I have been very restless. I've just been go, 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 having a hard time slowing down. So I feel like this baby's just going to kick off 2026 with peace and with restfulness and with just soaking in these newborn days. So that's kind of been my shift from absolutely dreading this to I'm actually really looking forward to it. And I just feel like it's going to be such a great like comeback story, because then by the time it's November, December, and like that fall fashion, the holiday fashion comes back around, I'll be hopefully like fitting into clothes a little bit better, kind of coming up on that year postpartum. It usually takes me about a year to just like fit into my clothes. And so I just feel like it's going to be such a awesome like postpartum arc, like journey, as far as my weight loss journey and my fitness journey. And I'm just excited for that. It just feels so fresh, like start the year with a baby and then just kind of watch them grow throughout the year. I'm just excited for it. So if you are also having a winter baby and you're wanting to just get in the mindset, I wrote a few things down for what I'm daydreaming of for this winter baby, and I hope it gets you excited too, especially if you're someone who's in the north and your winters are long and cold. Here are some things to just get you excited, the beauty of a winter baby. So snuggling up inside when it's cold out. And I'm just picturing like sending the big boys out to go play in the snow. And then I can either take baby out in like a baby carrier and they'll just be like cozy with me, or I can sit inside and just watch the kids out from the window and just be cozy inside, or send Scott out to go handle the boys. I'm also excited for just all of us hibernating together. Like the days are short. We don't have the kids out when it's, dark outside and it's 5 p.m. So we're just going to be cozy together, making memories, board games. I'm picturing like nursing my baby while the kids play board games, or we watch a show together, or we have a snack together, and I can just kind of be rocking baby and just be cozy. I'm just cozy vibes all the way around, like hot cocoa all around, and nursing a baby, rocking a baby. I'm just so excited for those cozy family bonding moments instead of like the summer chaotic, hectic schedule. Holidays are over. All the chaos is over. It's just cozy family hibernating together time. So looking forward to that. The other thing is I'm excited to just watch a baby grow as the year grows. I feel like we can all relate to that feeling of winter comes and goes, and then spring comes and you're just starting to get like your energy back. And at that point, I'll start having, like a 4-month-old baby, a 5-month-old baby. So a baby that can like sit up and they can take in the world. And then that's when I'm getting my energy back and I'm excited to get back to things. And I feel like there's a huge shift from 3 months to 6 months to 9 months. And so I'm just excited to feel those shifts come around March in the springtime, April in the springtime, again midsummer, and then again in September when, the seasons are changing again and I have a 9-month-old baby and I'm feeling like I can get out more. And I'm just excited to watch the baby grow as the year goes on. I just think it's a really cool time to have a baby. I'm just excited. Another thing that I'm excited for is that when the weather starts to warm up again, we'll have a baby that can actually do things, like they can be in a stroller and they can sit up and we can go on more adventures. And, baby will be not taking as many naps as they were in those first few months. So it just feels like, I don't know, as I get more energy, as the year gets more energy, the baby will be able to come along with all those adventures, especially as a mom, with this being my 5th kid and having all these kids that are going to be wanting to do all these adventurous things. It's just going to be perfect timing as far as that. And I just can't wait. I'm just so excited. I'm getting like giddy now thinking about it. And then thinking about baby being, like 11 months, 10, almost 12 months when it's the holidays. It's going to be such a cute time of year. Just can't wait. It's going to be so fun. Every baby born in whatever season, it brings something different. But I feel like babies born in January bring mothers peace, because we've gotten through all the crazy holidays and now we're hunkering down with this baby that we've worked very hard to create, and we can just be cozy with them. So if you're having a January baby, I hope this just gave you some good feels, some excitement. And also, if you're a mom who's in the South and you're having a January baby, what a great time. It's not going to be super hot. You can still get outside. I just think it's going to be a wonderful time for all of us, and I'm so looking forward to it. So I hope that this got you a little bit excited. Let me know if it did. Okay, so I know I talked a lot about winter babies, and maybe right now you're due in the summer, or you're due in the spring, or you're due in the fall, and maybe you have negative feelings about whatever due date it is that you have, and you're trying to find the good in it, or maybe you're still in that funk of, I'm not gonna find the good in it. I'm mad. I didn't want to have a baby at this time. I wanted it at this time. And I know it sounds selfish, and people are going to say like, wow, you little brat, you should just be grateful. But feelings are feelings, and two things can be true at once. You can feel like, oh, I did not want a January due date. And you can also feel so grateful to have this baby. Okay? Hope you can understand that. I know you can. Anyways, but I want you to try to find the good and the peacefulness in every single season. So whether it's a winter baby or a spring baby, what is stressing you out about it? Think about, okay, what are some good things with this? Let's say you're going to have a spring baby. What a great time. The animals are having their babies. You get to have your baby, and it's coming right up with the sunshine, and the days are getting longer. You could get outside. There's more sunshine. And even if you're having a summer baby and you're starting to feel like, oh my goodness, that's such a busy time of year. Well, maybe use it as an excuse to slow down. Go sit outside in the shade and have a picnic, and get out in the mornings when it's not as hot. Find things to just kind of bring that joy and that peace. And who says you can't have cozy times in the summertime? It gets cooler at night. You can go sit outside with baby in a rocking chair, as the evening cools off. Whatever it is, try to find the joy in that. Oh, in the summer, there's so much great food, grilling. Maybe your husband takes over more of the meals, or you have some cold iced tea, whatever it may be. And fall babies is such a cute time of year. The temperatures are cooling down, starting to get into that cozier time of year. And like I said, with my October and November babies, it's kind of fun to have a tiny little baby for those holidays. So try your best to just find the joy in whatever season that your baby is coming in, because it is for a reason. There's a reason that God gave you this baby at this particular time, and just try to find the perks and the joy in whatever season that may be. So I hope that this is encouraging to you, and let me know if you're having a baby at a different time and what's exciting you, or if you were, feeling some sort of way, and then you had the baby and then you turned out to be awesome. Comment below. I want to hear your stories with that. So yeah, I went from absolutely dreading this January baby to I'm really looking forward to this, and I think that it's going to be one of my best postpartums ever. And I'm just genuinely excited to enjoy Christmas and all these holidays with my crew of boys before the next baby gets added. And it just will force me to just relax this Christmas, because I'll be super pregnant, and then start the new year with a baby. And I hope that whatever season you're going to have a baby, that you just use it as an opportunity to slow down, to say no to more things, to take things off your plate, and just enjoy this newborn season. So I would like to know, like I said before, when were your babies born? What did you like about it? What didn't you like? What did you learn? Would love to hear all of those things. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed kind of working through this January baby due date situation. And I'm sure that there's going to be another mom out there who's watching or listening, and you've had a similar experience. And I hope that it was encouraging to you, or that it reminded you of how you felt and how things kind of just turned around. And I'm excited to share how it goes once baby's here. But thank you for hanging out with me today. And if you want to see more motherhood encouragement, mom tips, me chatting about, being in an MLM, or my husband going into the ministry, all those things, stick around, comment, subscribe. I also will be sharing more of baby prep, what I'm doing to kind of prepare myself for a January baby, home birth stuff, our nursery, just all of the fun stuff. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun here while we get ready for baby. I'm currently 31 weeks, so we are in the single digit countdown. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Comment below if you related to this, or share when your babies were born, and any little tidbit like that. I love hearing it. And if you have nothing else to add, just drop a heart. That's super helpful. So thanks for watching. Glad you're here, and we'll see you next time. Bye.